Imagine this for a second. The air is getting thick with smoke, maybe alarms are going off, and then that alert flashes on your phone. Evacuate now. You're scrambling, heart just pounding. Honey, where's the cat carrier? I can't find it. That panic rises.
Fight it.
And your partner yells back, just as stressed. Thought I was in the garage. Where's the go bag? Need the keys. And maybe your teenager's freaking out. My charger, it won't fit.
Total chaos.
Exactly. Then the punchline. The alert says the road's closed. Another way out. I can't find my wallet. The plan, where is it? Do we even have one? Does that spiral, that frantic scene sound, I don't know, even a little bit familiar to you?
Well, what you just laid out, that was pretty much the reality for the Miller family last year, right in the thick of a sudden wildfire evacuation. And the thing is, they really truly believed they were prepared.
They thought they had it covered.
They did. They had a checklist, an emergency kit, all the best intentions. But when it actually hit the fan, their go bag, well, it was missing crucial stuff. Prescriptions, even food for their cat.
Oh, wow. Pet food, even.
Yeah, and their escape route, the one they'd planned, totally gridlocked. Traffic debris just impassable. And maybe the most heartbreaking part, they hadn't set up a backup meeting spot. So when their son's phone died, their only way to connect, they actually got separated.
Wow.
Lost.
Oh, that's awful.
A really stark reminder, isn't it? How even with good intentions, a plan can have these critical gaps. Does that maybe echo some of your family's unspoken worries or gaps you haven't quite addressed?
Yeah.
Because the core idea we're digging into today, based on all the sources, is really this. It's genuine preparation, practice preparation, not just hoping for the best, that turns survival into triumph.
That's a really powerful way to put it, and it sets up perfectly what we're trying to do in this deep dive. We want to explore those practical steps, the stuff you actually practice for family disaster readiness. We'll use the insights from the source material and keep coming back to the Miller's experience as a sort of guide.
Right.
And this isn't about scaring anyone, It's about feeling empowered, getting that sense of control through being ready. So, okay, let's unpack this. Where do you even begin? It's not just about gear, right? It starts with knowing things. So, first question for you listening. Do you actually know your zone?
That's exactly it. The absolute foundation, identifying your local risks. It sounds basic, but it's crucial. Think geographically right. Gulf Coast, it's hurricanes. That's your primary.
Right. Obvious maybe, but you have to name it.
Exactly. California, wildfires, earthquakes. Midwest, you're looking at tornadoes. Pacific Northwest, big quakes are a real possibility. But it's not just the region. You need to drill down. Check with your local emergency management office, or ready.gov is a great resource. Find out the specific threats most likely for your street, your neighborhood. Specificity is key here.
Okay, so you know the risks. Then comes communication. And here's where it gets really interesting. How do you stay connected when everything goes down? Cell towers jammed, power out. How does that work?
Yeah, this is where planning for failure really matters. The sources point to two big things. First, text messages. Prioritize texting over calling.
Really? Just texting?
Yeah, because voice calls swamp the networks. Texts use way less bandwidth, so they're much more likely to sneak through, even if it takes a little while. Second, and this is like a game changer, designate an out-of-state contact.
Out of state? Why not local?
Because local lines might be completely overloaded or physically damaged. Calling someone hundreds of miles away often bypasses that local congestion. FEMA actually backs this up. They say something like 90% of calls can fail in a major disaster.
Wow, 90%.
Yeah. So having that remote person, that central hub for everyone to check in with, it stops everyone frantically trying to call each other locally and getting nowhere. It brings a bit of calm.
Okay, that makes sense for staying connected remotely. But what about physically getting together? I mean, if there's a house fire, your front yard meeting spot might be, well, on fire. So what does this all mean for actually finding each other?
Right. You need two spots. Two distinct meeting locations, and you got to practice getting to them. One needs to be super close to home. Think like a neighbor's porch you've agreed on, or that big oak tree at the end of the block. Something specific.
Okay, for immediate stuff, like a fire.
Exactly. Get out fast, count heads. The second spot needs to be outside your immediate neighborhood, maybe a community center, library, park, somewhere a few miles away you can all reasonably get to.
For bigger evacuations like the Millers faced.
Precisely. When you can't go home, or the whole area is compromised, having those two spots pre-agreed and practiced, it cuts out so much confusion and fear when every second counts. It's the difference between finding each other quickly and, well, a desperate search.
And it's not just where, but who. The sources really stress assigning roles, like who grabs the go bag,
Mhm.
who's on pet duty, who secures the vital documents.
Critical documents are key.
And then you got to practice those roles. Not just talk about it, but actually do it, maybe quarterly. That clarity, knowing your job, knowing where to go, it turns panic into purpose, like a fire drill, makes it almost automatic. Okay, let's shift to the go bag itself. You know, that backpack people talk about.
Mm.
It often ends up being this forgotten thing in the closet, right? Maybe some old granola bars.
Expired ones, usually.
Yeah, and a dodgy flashlight. But it really shouldn't be like that. The sources are clear, update it regularly, at least once a year. Things change, new glasses, maybe a baby needs diapers.
Or medications change.
Exactly. So I gotta ask you listening right now, what's actually in your go bag? Or maybe, what do you think is in there?
It's so much more than just random stuff. It should be a really curated lifeline. The sources get specific. Water, 1 gallon per person per day for at least 3 days.
That's a lot of water for a family. 9 gallons for 3 people.
It is. People really underestimate the bulk and weight until they actually pack it. Food, non-perishables, high energy. Protein bars, canned stuff. And please remember, a manual can opener. Power might be out.
Oh, good point. Manual.
Communication and light.
Yeah.
Definitely an NOAA weather radio, battery or hand crank with extra batteries. Good flashlights. And a whistle, simple but effective for signaling.
Okay. Health
Right.
documents.
Right. A solid first aid kit, bandages, antiseptic, pain relief, a 7-day supply of any prescriptions, glasses, contacts, and this is huge. Waterproof copies of critical documents, birth certificates, passports, insurance policies, social security card.
Waterproof copies. Smart.
Vital. And finally, cash. At least $200, maybe more, in small bills. Because ATMs, card readers, they'll likely be down. Cash becomes king.
That's a really solid base. But it's not just generic, is it? The sources emphasize tailoring it, making it specific to your risks.
Absolutely. If you're in wildfire country, N95 masks are non-negotiable. Goggles, too. And detailed local maps. Because your GPS might be useless if cell service is down or roads are blocked unexpectedly.
And hurricanes.
Hurricanes, think waterproof. Sturdy plastic bins for supplies. Plastic sheeting. Tarps for temporary repairs or shelter.
Earthquakes.
Earthquakes. Definitely sturdy shoes. Closed toe. Heavy gloves. Lots of debris. And tools to shut off your gas and water lines quickly. That can prevent fires or flooding after the shaking stops.
Exactly right. That tailoring, that's often the missing piece. It connects the general idea to your specific reality. There was a study, 2024 Disaster Preparedness Journal, found something like 70% of families who felt unprepared. They lacked those tailored, risk-specific supplies.
70%. Why do you think that is? It seems overwhelming.
Could be. Maybe it's just hard to make that mental leap from disaster prep in general to what do I specifically need for my house facing this threat? But bridging that gap, getting specific with your kit. That's where real safety happens. Okay, I get that this can feel like a mountain of information. Starting can be tough, but here's a tip. Check out Mind Expansion Daily. They have tons of great info, including a free, really comprehensive checklist for all the go bag stuff we just talked about. Makes it way less daunting.
Good resource.
And speaking of go bags, we genuinely want to hear from you, our listeners. What's the unique item in your bag? Something maybe we didn't mention. Your idea could seriously help someone else. So leave a comment, tell us what you think, agree, disagree, or share that unique item.
All right, so you've got the plan, you've got the bag, hopefully updated. But how do you make sure it actually works when you need it? An untested plan, like the Millers found out.
Yeah. Well, it can fall apart fast under pressure, right?
It absolutely can. It's all about practice. Consistent, realistic drills. The sources highlight a great one, the 6-month go bag drill.
Okay, how does that work?
Simple, really. Every 6 months, set a timer. 5 minutes, maybe. Everyone in the family knows their role, grabs their assigned stuff, go bag, pets, documents, and meets at that designated spot. Could be the car, the front yard, whatever you decided.
Just 5 minutes.
Yeah, it forces quick thinking. Afterwards, you talk about it. What did we forget? What took too long? What was confusing? The sources say, by the 3rd time you do this, it starts becoming muscle memory, almost instinctive.
Makes sense. Takes the thinking out of it when you're stressed.
Exactly. And the Red Cross did a survey, 2023, I think, showed 85% of families significantly cut down their response time with regular drills like this. It shifts your brain from panic mode to action mode. Practice literally rewires you for crisis.
And anyone who's ever sat in gridlock during an emergency knows this next part is vital. Evacuation routes. Just knowing one main road isn't enough, is it?
Not even close. You absolutely have to physically drive your primary route. But more importantly, find alternatives. back roads, secondary streets, ways around potential bottlenecks.
Why is that so critical?
Because Google Maps data, believe it or not, shows that up to 60% of primary evacuation routes can fail or get completely blocked in a large-scale event. Traffic jams, debris, flooding, you name it.
60%, that's huge.
It is. So having multiple pre-driven backup routes is non-negotiable. And for those in earthquake zones, practice drop, cover, and hold on. Seriously, do it for 30 seconds, maybe once a month. It sounds basic, but that reflex needs to be automatic when the shaking starts.
And practice also means updating the plan itself, right? Annually. Needs change.
Constantly. New baby. That changes everything. Diapers, formula in the bag,
Yeah.
teenagers suddenly need power banks, maybe specific comfort items. Practice keeps the plan alive, relevant. It turns drills into real lifelines.
Okay, we've covered bags, practice. Let's talk about the home base, your house, your sanctuary. So what does this all mean for actually fortifying your space against chaos?
Yeah, your home is your first defense line. The sources give some really concrete steps. If you're in quake country, anchor heavy furniture, bookshelves, dressers. Bolt them to the wall stud, stops them falling on someone or blocking your way out.
Smart. Simple but effective.
For hurricane zones, shutters are huge. Or impact-resistant windows. They make a massive difference against wind and debris. Flood risk areas, even just a basement. Elevate your crucial appliances furnace, water heater. Get them up on concrete blocks, off the floor level. Saves you a fortune and a massive headache later.
And what about a safe room? Is that practical?
It can be. Doesn't have to be a fancy bunker. An interior room, maybe a reinforced closet or basement corner. Stock it with 72 hours of essentials, water, food, light, a battery fan for air, blankets. It's your immediate refuge if you absolutely cannot leave.
And those everyday safety devices, smoke alarms, CO detectors.
Non-negotiable. Lifelines, test them monthly. Seriously, push the button. Change the batteries twice a year. Easy way is when you change your clocks. The CDC has this chilling stat. 60% of fire deaths happen in homes without working smoke alarms.
60%? Wow.
Makes you check them, right? And for wildfire areas, defensible space. Clear at least 30 feet around your house. Get rid of dry brush, dead leaves, overhanging branches. That buffer zone can literally save your home. Buys time.
So these home steps, they protect your family, your place, and should probably be linked to checking your insurance too, right? Make sure you're actually covered for these specific risks.
Absolutely. Physical prep and financial prep go hand in hand. No point securing the house if a disaster wipes you out financially afterwards because your coverage wasn't right.
We've hit plans, gear, drills,
Yeah.
the house. But you mentioned earlier, it's not just about the stuff. What about the emotional side? The stress, the fear, that's huge too, isn't it?
It's massive and often overlooked. Disasters are incredibly stressful, emotionally taxing, especially for kids. The key is talking about it openly. Discuss fears, use age-appropriate language, honest, but not terrifying.
Like role-playing. Does that help?
It really does. Even simple scenarios. It demystifies it a bit, reduces anxiety by giving kids a sense of what might happen and how they can react. Psychologists, like the APA noted in 2024, found prepared families experience significantly less trauma, up to 40% less, because they've mentally walked through it, built some resilience beforehand.
Okay, so talking helps. What about actual coping mechanisms when the stress is hitting hard?
Teaching tangible skills is vital. Simple things work. Deep breathing exercises. Encouraging kids and adults to journal or draw about their feelings. Even just group hugs. Physical closeness sounds small, but it's grounding.
And having people to lean on.
Crucial. Proactively identify your support network. Who can you rely on? Neighbors, relatives, close friends you trust. For emotional backup after the event, too. Think about the Miller family's son.
Right, you mentioned he struggled afterwards.
He really did. Felt isolated, helpless. If they'd had a pre-discussed support plan, knowing who he could talk to, where he could find comfort, it could have made a real difference in his recovery. Sharing that burden is key.
So emotional readiness isn't separate. It weaves through everything, strengthens the physical plans, creates a united front against the fear, helps you face it together.
Exactly. It's about being mentally fortified as well as physically prepared.
Okay, so let's say the immediate event passes. The shaking stops, the fire moves on, the floodwaters recede. What happens then? This aftermath phase. Here's where it gets really interesting. How do you move from just surviving to actually recovering?
Yeah, the aftermath is often the longest, toughest phase. The sources point to a few key steps. First, register. Get yourself known to local emergency services, FEMA, Red Cross. That's how you access aid, shelter, essential resources.
Okay, register first. Then.
Document everything, especially property damage for insurance. Take photos, videos, keep every single receipt for disaster-related expenses.
Yeah.
It's tedious, but absolutely essential for claims. And third, don't neglect mental health,
We keep coming back to that.
because it's critical for long-term recovery. FEMA data suggests like 30% of survivors can face depression, anxiety, PTSD if they don't get support. Acknowledge the toll. Seek help if you need it. It's as important as rebuilding walls.
And once things start settling down a bit, what does this all mean for the long run? How do you make sure you actually learn from it?
Reflection. That is absolutely vital. As a family, sit down and talk honestly. What parts of our plan worked? What completely failed? What surprised us?
Like the Millers did.
Exactly like the Millers. They didn't just survive, they reflected. They realized the pet food gap, the single route failure. So they immediately adjusted their plan, added pet supplies, scouted and confirmed a completely different backup evacuation route.
See, that's turning experience into action.
Precisely. That reflection turns survival into genuine strength. It means you're not just recovering, you're actively learning, refining, preparing better for whatever might come next. It's continuous improvement born from hard lessons.
So that initial chaos the Millers went through, it doesn't have to be your story. We've walked through a lot, knowing your risks, having that communication plan, packing a tailored go bag, actually practicing drills, securing your home, building emotional strength, and then reflecting afterwards.
It's a whole system.
It really is. Each piece supports the others.
And what's really fascinating, I think, is that this kind of readiness, it isn't just about dodging disaster. It's fundamentally an act of control, of care for your family. It transforms that potential fear into actual confidence. It's about empowerment and the tools to do it. You have them. You can act now.
Absolutely. And if you found this deep dive helpful, please do like and subscribe to Mind Expansion Daily. We've got more insights like this coming. Plus, check out our other resources. We delve into things like financial disaster prep or first aid skills that go way beyond just having a kit. Really important stuff. Stay safe out there and stay prepared.